Welcome back to the Hawmie podcast. Today we're sitting with the legendary Jessica Lucero. What's up, cuz?
What's up, cousin? How you doing?
I'm excited that you're here.
I know, finally. It took us a minute to figure our schedules out, but I'm excited to be here too. I'm feeling good. What about you?
I feel great. I mean, Father's Day was yesterday.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I'm rocking a gift, obviously.
The girl dad shirt.
Shout out to my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jima. Nah, but it was good. Yesterday was tight. Like, just chilling and, like, not having to worry about nothing. Like, because being a parent is...
tough.
It's just needy. You feel me? Like, I go through the... like, because I watch Baby during the day, but... and Jania's with me or whatever, but she's not on me like how she's on Cody.
Yeah.
So, like, for Cody, like, if she has a full day of just, like, watching Baby, she gets burnt.
Exhausted,
she
probably.
gets burnt. And I realized it, like, I was like, I can hang. I was thinking to myself, like, I can hang, but it's also because I get backup. Like, my grandma will help me sometimes. Like, she would pull up to the house. And, like, when I'm with Cody trying to back her up, Baby is like, no. Like, I want Cody.
Mom.
I want Chi-Chi's and I want it now. You feel me? And, like,
exactly.
It gets intense, like, for sure.
It's funny seeing how attached she is to her. It's cute, you know? Like, you just think about... for me, I'm not a mom yet, so I'm like, I'm kind of excited to have that one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually.
It's, once it comes, that's the only way you'll know, you know? Because you can't put it into words. Like, we describe it as much as we describe it, but it's still more, like, in person. Like, it's hard to express everything because there's so much going on every day.
Yeah.
But you'll see when it's your time. You feel me? Talk to me about your childhood, though. What did you do growing up?
Oh, damn. We go straight after it.
Yeah, let's go.
What did I do growing up?
Yeah.
For fun or what? I feel like...
what did you do for fun, but then also, like, did you play any sports? Did you, like, what kind of stuff did you get into?
I started softball when I was, like, maybe 7. But then I feel like I was one of those that dabbled in every sport ever, you know? Like, I was one of those... what is it? Jack of all trades, but, like, not in a good way. I wasn't very good at any of the sports that I played. But for me, I was more just like, I loved hanging out with family, bro.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Like, sports were sick, but I think the fact that I started and I was 6 years younger than Jeffrey, my brother, and he was so good, I was like, damn, I'm never going to be that, you know? So
really?
it was, like, already in my mind.
So
it was definitely a mindset thing. Like, I played into freshman year of high school, but then I switched to a different sport after that.
Yeah,
I needed to start running track and cross country, do my own thing, because I was like, girl, you are not stepping up to the plate, quite literally.
Oh, okay. I feel it. I feel it. So you played softball, like, growing up, and then you switched to
track and cross country
in high school.
Yeah, I loved that. I love watching track and cross country. Well, mainly track now, which is funny because I feel like most people don't really enjoy watching it. You're like, oh, they're just going around a circle.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's, like, an art to it. It's also why I wanted to work in sports originally. You know, it's like our family is so sports oriented that it's like you're looking for a way to connect with your family on something, and you're like, well, they love sports. I think I like it.
Yeah.
Let me start by, I can make it. I can make a living out of this.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize whether or not you truly love it as much as you thought you did or you thought you would, you know? Yeah,
for sure. I felt that too. Once I got to, like, because for me in high school, once I was in senior year, I could not do football no more.
Yeah.
I was like, I am burnt. Like, it hit heavy, like, in high school for me. Because I was already playing it for 10 years at the end.
Yeah.
Senior year, I was already at my 10 year. You feel me?
And
so,
that's the thing. It's no
crazy.
joke with football either. You're, like, constantly getting slammed or doing the slamming.
My body was like, I'm done. Like, I could feel, like, my body, like before hits or after hits, like, kind of go, like just tense up. Like, it's a crazy feeling.
The muscle memory, you knew what was going to happen or what did happen or whatever.
It's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. And then a lot of guys, they don't know how to describe that. They don't know how to put that into words. And so they never even, like, speak about all the trauma that goes with football.
And it's physical trauma. I mean, it's mental too, but with football specifically, that's like mad physical trauma, you know?
Physical. It's mad physical, and then it messes up your psyche because of that.
Exactly. It all relates.
Because our stomach is a big brain. Mm-hmm. And that's what gets traumatized from the trauma, from the head trauma. Yeah. And it's not just the head trauma, it's the body trauma too. Like, boom, because you're using your body when you go in too. Like, think about that. You know what I mean?
No, it freaks me out. And I always wonder if people who played high school football or just football in general, like, would you want your kids to play?
Yeah, I don't for sure. I mean, it's not even like on some like, oh, I hate football or I hate anyone who associates with football, but it's just the reality. Like, if you look at the science, what it does to your body, like, why would you want to put someone else through that?
Exactly.
I understand like the culture behind it and like why people get so attached to it, and like it's a family thing. You feel me? It's a family, like it becomes like a sacred thing to family. Mm-hmm. Sports, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I totally get it, and I respect that. It's just, yeah, that part of like the science behind it, of like what it does to your body. It's like, okay, if we want to be so focused on like being all about a sport, then we should also be focused all about our health and all about like preserving us like as a family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's a family thing that's pushing football. It's not a school that's like, you need to get in football. You feel me? Like,
it's your family.
Like, football families start their kids like young.
Early.
Super young.
Yeah. It's specifically with football, you know, because like you could play any sport and there is that family aspect, but you have to think about what you're actually asking your kids to do and like go out there every single day. And with the football culture in particular, it's like, don't be a wimp, you know, like get back up, get back out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, if you are going to be doing that, then you have to make sure that you're caring for your kids' mental health. And I know that your parents were really good about like the food that you were eating and stuff.
Yeah,
but not all parents are, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. And no one has the luxury like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes like we had the luxury because my dad worked his ass off and like fucking worked every day, you know, even on Sundays. Yeah, so it's like,
still does, man.
Yeah. So
he's good at that.
Like because of his hard work and everything, I'm able to also realize all these things like as an adult. You feel me? Like, because some people don't have the space to reflect on like what they go through. They just have to go. We got rent due. We got bills due. Boom, boom, boom. We don't freaking think about the past. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, all that it's all connected to family for sure.
But you know what that reminds me of? I saw this thing on just Instagram that someone was sharing, and they were like, it's all deep. I'm like, do you want to go deep? You could get this out if you want. But it was like, the only people who are going to remember you working as hard as you do are your kids. Yeah.
I saw that too. No, for sure.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah. 1,000%. That's why, like, I was totally fine being a stay-at-home dad. Because I saw with my dad how much he worked and everything. And it's just like, I freaking still love him to death, but we did miss out on, like, a childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm still alive, so it's not like we're not living our best life. You feel me? Like, we're still doing the best. But it's like, yeah, when you're working all the time, okay, all that work time, you're away from your kids.
Exactly.
You know, and every day they are growing and changing and growing into a different person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that childhood is like very, I know it's important. I could see it. It's crazy how fast Janai is going, like growing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Kids grow so fast.
Exactly. Yeah. Those are like very important years. All the way up until past 18 even. That's the thing. Like 21 is when you start to even out, I would say. But
I don't feel like I came into my adult years until like 25 though.
Yeah.
Like even then, like it's hitting me now like, oh wow, I'm about to be 27. Like, like I'm getting older. Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like it feels weirder now, but like when you're 21, you're still a kid. Yeah, you're right.
You're for sure still a kid. Yeah. I would say probably the same. 25, you're like definitely you could hang out with like a 40-year-old and still have a lot in common with them.
Yeah.
But before that,
not
you're a child.
Yeah.
You want to go out and rage.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's obviously people that at 18 they're adults though. You know what I'm saying? Living on their own. So
that's how different. I felt. I wasn't living on my own at 18, but I was grinding.
He was doing the college grind.
Yeah,
right?
I had working. Like 3 jobs in college.
What jobs?
I'm trying to remember because I get it out of whack a little bit, but
because you worked at a lot of jobs.
Yeah, before. It's like overwhelming. My brain like forgets some of it. But I was going to school full time, and then I was working in the athletic department. So like specifically for athletics, but then I was also an editor on the newspaper, and both of those I got paid for. And then
that's tight.
I worked
through the school.
Yeah.
That's tight.
See, I had to make it so like, okay, if you're gonna work in this industry, if you're gonna be in sports or entertainment, whatever, like you need to start getting experience now. Mm-hmm. But then those didn't pay very well, so I also worked at In-N-Out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In-N-Out.
Yeah.
How long were you there for? Like a year, 2 years?
No, I was there for like 5.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they were good old reliable. They helped out, man. That was that good pay right there. And the food, I was like, ooh. That's tight. You're helping me out. Thank you, In-N-Out.
For real. Shout out to In-N-Out, man. I've had great memories going to that spot. Like, I don't eat meat no more. Like, I'm a vegetarian.
They have good veggie burger. Well, I mean, it's just like vegetables, literally.
Yeah. No, I've gone there lately. I mean, not like a lot, but every once in a while when I'm feeling it, I'll like grab like fries. I'll do like animal style fries with like... I can't even do the bread because I'm freaking gluten intolerant.
I forgot about that. Damn, you're struggling.
Bro, people are going to be like, why is Jason like that? Because I never talk about myself much on this pod. But anyways, the sandwich that I get is just like a lettuce wrapped with just veggies in it. So like a grilled onion, tomato, cheese, and like maybe like more grilled onions.
Add some pickles.
And then I put that on the fries and that's how I eat it. So
that's good.
So it's fire.
I would get like 2 orders of fries if I was you. I'd be like...
Just 2 orders of fries and then throw it all on top.
Mix it together. Give it a little shake.
That's honestly... It was good the last time I had it. I ain't gonna lie. So.
Dude, the flavors... It's like the grilled onions are the one... That's what brings it all together, you know? I'm like, the smell, everything. Oh, I love it.
Oh, they got us hooked for sure.
I know. That's that nicotine in their grilled onions.
Yeah, that or the hormones in the meat.
Period. You ain't wrong.
Shit. Oh man. But so you're in high school, you're doing track. You moved out to Temecula? What year was that?
I moved out to Temecula.
You're young, though,
yeah,
right?
I moved out in 2002. But so that's why I switch up when people are like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
I'm like reading the person to figure out, do I want to tell you I'm from Long Beach or do I want to tell you that I'm from Temecula? Because most of the time I will say Temecula because I did grow up there. But with you guys all living out in Long Beach and me coming out here every weekend and like...
It was like you're living both places.
Yeah, and I didn't really connect with people in Temecula all that well. I was like, it's a very different space out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was out there by like 7 or 8 years old, pretty early. So like 2nd grade, I think.
That place is cool, like landscape wise. Like, you feel me? Like, you go out there and it's a vibe. You feel me? Like, I mean, obviously, I liked it going out there because it was just, we were hanging out. You feel me?
Yeah, we were just chilling the whole time.
That was the tightest part. You feel me? Like, we didn't even know what was going on in the outside world. You know what I'm saying? So, it was fun going out there as a kid, for sure. I mean, if you guys are there, it would be tight to go visit.
That's and then
go do some, like, wine tasting or whatever. That would be tight.
But that's the thing, and I've noticed with myself, I've talked to my mom about it too. I'm like, I don't really enjoy going back to Temecula. That's why I find myself not claiming it all that much.
Oh, okay.
I'll say like, oh, I'm from Long Beach, and they're like, oh, where'd you go to high school? I'm like, well, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Sure.
You go back to that mindset, you know, like I didn't really get along with people in high school. I didn't really get along with people in middle school or any of the years that I was there.
It was a struggle.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just felt like that's that half-breed mentality where I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Even with our damn family, you want to get into some deep talks.
Yeah, for sure. No, 1,000%. It's crazy. Cause like even it goes the opposite way too. Like when you're, around people who are speaking Spanish and you ain't speaking Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And it's like people don't realize like what happens because we've been here for 4 generations, and that changes a lot of things. Cause like our grandparents, grandma was like, I am not teaching Spanish to my kids because they are telling us in the schools not to speak any Spanish to them. That was really what was going down when our parents were being raised. You know what I'm saying? And that happened not only on our side, on my dad's side, but also on my mom's side. So she also doesn't speak. So she's also relearning Spanish again. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
so it's crazy.
Well, that's also what's funny though, because you talk to people and they'll be like, "Oh, you're Mexican?" I say, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, do you speak Spanish?" And I'm like, I'm learning. I wasn't taught it growing up, but I am learning. Yeah. And I was raised around slang. I was raised around Spanglish. Yeah. But it's just it's cool when you do reach that point where it becomes a conscious decision for you to learn it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It is, because it's at the end of the day, it's not only when you learn Spanish, you're opening up to a whole different community of people. You know what I'm saying? You're able to reach and connect way different people than just one language. That's a beautiful thing. You feel me? Like, I have nothing against that. You know what I'm saying? But I have everything against people who are, like, talking down on us because we don't speak Spanish. You feel me? I speak Spanish, but it is pocho. I do not speak the right Spanish. You feel me? Like, it's messed up. Like, I probably said that wrong. You feel me? Because, like, I wasn't raised speaking Spanish. But now I can speak Espanol, like, on words that I would not even know way back in the day because I'm raising my daughter and my freaking fiance speaks it fluently. You know what I'm saying? So it's tricky. And it's also tricky because a lot of like some of these Mexican people who are like, oh, you don't speak Spanish? Well, you ain't Mexican or whatever. Yeah. It's like, that's also not your native language though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's tricky here. You know what I'm saying? It gets tricky. Spain conquered native people and made native people start speaking Spanish and drop their native language. So it's like you can't really force anything bad on people with that. You know, it's kind of like history is what it is, and we're all here, and it is what it is. We're learning, we're growing, and I mean, if we're talking down on people who are speaking Spanish, that's a way different thing. But it's like, it's funny how people can get out of line.
I always appreciate when. To me, I think it's the coolest thing when I tell someone that I'm Mexican and they're not instantly judging me for my skin tone. Because I'm like, I know what I look like. I've grown up with this mug for 27 years, brother. Like, I know I'm white. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I'm not now trying to connect with my Hispanic side. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they'll like quiz me sometimes. Not quiz me. I actually hate when people be like, okay, give me a sentence then. I'm like, you're bringing me back to my sports days. You're over here like, name 16 players on the Astros back in 87. Like, I don't care. No, we're not doing this. But when, like Trejo, my brother's wife, she's encouraging of us learning Spanish. She'll like help me out. Oh, how did you say that? Oh, okay, so it's more like this. Like, move your tongue like this, whatever. Yeah. I think that's so sick. When you're able to, when you are so bilingual, you're able to uplift other people who are trying to become bilingual, or at that point maybe trilingual, who cares? That's sick, bro. You learn. I also, side note, do you know that America doesn't have an official language?
I've heard that for sure. Because
when people are like, go back to Mexico or whatever to someone speaking Spanish, and I'm like, listen, they're way smarter than you. They speak 2 languages.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. How many think of that? Yeah, it's a trip that how language really should be something that we're advancing ourselves with, but it's like holding us back in a sense where like people who are like that, you know what I'm saying? Go back to Mexico, you speaking Spanish, you fucking beaner, you know what I'm saying? Like that is the most like hurtful thing that you could say to yourself too, because you're dumbing down yourself as well, because like you're really like just saying the worst thing possible, saying the most negative thing out into the whole world, and that's just like instant karma. That's not like anything that you want to mess with. You feel me? Like, it's just making the whole world a better, like a worse place. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
It's language can really help us elevate, though. You feel me? Like, it can help all of the world communicate more. Mm-hmm. Like, if we all understood each other's languages around the world in different countries, you think there would be so much more? I don't know. Like, things like that to me are kind of like, it's weird, it's big idea stuff, but it's also like, it's not. Like, it's like
people don't want to understand each other. You know, it's like if you made the effort to understand why they did that. Listen, for example, you know what was really cool actually is for Coachella, I ordered hair. Okay. And it was not from a Black owned place. I didn't really think about it at the time. I was like, I've seen this brand. Let me order from it, whatever. Comes in, it's fine, but it doesn't match my hair. So I'm talking to my friend who's a hairstylist, and she's like, oh, go to this Black-owned beauty store. And I'm like, oh, okay, they probably know what the fuck they're talking about in comparison to me. And I've never done much with my hair, so I don't really know any of that in general. Uh-huh. So I go to this Black-owned beauty salon, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. And then when I left, I almost felt a little sad at the same time, because I think about it like, people are judgy and racist because they don't know. They've never met, let's say, a Black person before. They don't know, like, the community that they have at these Black beauty salons or Black beauty stores. I walk in and she's saying hi to everyone who comes in, and then when I check out, she's like, you have to send me pictures when you get your hair done, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's tight. I felt so welcome there.
You felt like you're at your family's barbecue.
Yes, it was so chill, so laid back. Like, you just need to be more open-minded. That's all there is to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. All that like prejudice shit trips me out.
I can't.
Trips me out.
It grosses me out.
And it's crazy how it still goes on today.
Right? But it's also hard for us because we live in LA. So it's like it's hard for us to understand that mindset. I mean, in general, it's the wrong mindset, let's be real. But we live in a place where it's such a melting pot. Yeah,
it's hella hip. And even in these like hip hop, I guess hip hop, because it's hip. But in these zones, like where it's, you know, multicultural, like to its T, there's still like these little freaking hubs of like mad prejudiced people. You feel me? And they're even within Hispanic communities. Oh yeah. They're even within Black communities, like, because we all get sucked into the system and we don't realize what we're sucked into. And so even when, you feel me, people are sucked into it, like, I'm getting to a spot where I'm like, you know what, I ain't mad at you, dude, because one day you'll get out of it, hopefully, because it really comes down to being educated, you know, like, because if you understand what people have gone through, if you understand history, if you understand what's going on today, like, you start shifting how you view the world, how you treat people, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's what I want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Where people start elevating. You know what I'm saying? And it starts with us. It starts with people like us speaking about it and changing that narrative, because, you know, when we talk about like prejudice things, it's like when it's reactionary. It's when something happens to us instead of like us speaking about it like fully. You know what I'm saying? So we could. I mean, you have to be reactionary at some point, because, like, people get attacked. Like, street vendors get attacked. You feel me? Like, all the time. Like, for just trying to make a living. You know what I'm saying? So
that hurts my heart.
And a lot of these people are, like, that are attacking them, they're just so blind and caught up in the system. Like, so caught up in the system that they're damn near doing the system's job, you know, for them. You feel me? Like, they're just... It's sickening, you know? And shout out to all the people that are actually doing something about it, though, you know? Like, there's people on the streets really, like, protecting street vendors and, like, being, you know, the safety net for these street vendors, because these people get attacked, they get robbed.
It's so sad.
It's fucked up.
And it's also really shocking to me that there's people who weren't raised around that, you know? Like, we had the Lucero when we were growing up, and that was, like, the best thing of my life.
For sure.
To get corn from the corn man.
For sure.
And then there's other people who have never even heard of that. They don't know what that means until now. They're like, oh, my God, have you tried that elote? And I'm like, girl, where you been?
At that Mexican restaurant in Beverly Hills.
Stop, we're being judgy.
Hey, we're just having fun, dude. We're just having fun.
But I saw this post. I'm on this like South Bay community Facebook group, just more so for like to figure out where the cops are at, what's going down, stuff like that. And there's a lot of people who post on there. We have a lot of vendors actually where I live, and there's people who will take pictures of them and be like, this is on the corner of this, and why are they there? Take them down, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, don't you have anything better to do with your life? Because they're really just trying to make a living. Like, don't eat it then.
That literally is a sign of them not doing nothing with their life. Because, so like, if you have the time and energy to do that, you for sure ain't doing nothing for yourself.
So bad. And then they start talking about, like, the cleanliness, whatever. I'm like, dude.
Do you eat from Jack in the Box?
I was just about to say.
Do you eat from Carl's Jr.?
You know, you eat at a C-rated restaurant every Tuesday, right? For your little margaritas. It's like.
Dude, yeah.
Get out. Sure. Then cook at home every single meal that you make.
That part. And
you can still mess it up.
Yeah, that part. No, that part for sure. Because at the end of the day, these people are making a living for themselves.
Yeah. You know they're going to complain about them based on how they look, based on their preconceived notions. Yeah. They're going to hate on them no matter what they're doing. Because they're going to sit there and say, like,
they'll find
why are you taking jobs from us? But then they're going to say, don't take this job. Don't make your own job. It's like, dude, that's a you problem. And I don't want to be near it.
Oh, that is so hypocritical, bro. Oh my God. Man, I never thought of those two things right there next to each other, those two sayings. Because, like, yeah, they're taking their jobs. And then, you can't do that job on the street right there.
You mean the job that they just schemed up by themselves? That creative job right there. This food that you've never tried before that you need to give it a shot, girly. It's good.
Bro, it's crazy.
It's sad.
It's wild as hell. Talk to me about college, though, and your experience in college at Fullerton, because you're at Cal State Fullerton.
Before that, I went to Maricosta in Oceanside.
Oh, shit. That's tight. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I loved both. Actually,
how was that, bro? Because Oceanside's a vibe, low key. Like I've gone down. He's crazy. You're crazy. Nah, it's hip down there, though, isn't it? It's
sick, bro. And
like, there's a bunch of cholos down there too, no?
Yeah, good food out there everywhere.
Mexican food.
That's where I assimilate it with. I'm like, cholos. Mexican food, yes. Yeah. You're eating good out there, bro.
And then there's the white people out there too, chilling. Like everyone's out there. Like,
they're just minding their business.
I went down there recently because I had family, and it had a family reunion. And all right, look at that. Time's up. We're gonna go to a quick break. We'll be right back. Before the break, we're talking about what
Maricosta.
College? Miracle. I was about to call it something else.
Coachella.
Oceanside. So talk to me about it. What was that like?
So first few years I was going to college in Oceanside, but I also went in Encinitas. They had a secondary campus out there. Oh, okay. So I was doing that drive. I had a commute. It was like an hour and a half some days, 2 hours some days, whatever.
Whoa.
But when you live in Temecula, you're kind of used to driving.
Driving far, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I got my little hoopty. She stuck with me through all this time. We're still going, not so strong anymore, but
that's tight.
I loved it. I think I peaked in college for sure. We gonna continue peaking, but that's like when I started to find myself, you know, because like
for sure
I got away from my parents finally, and everyone who knows my parents know that they're very overprotective, or they were when I was growing up. And
shout out Uncle Jeff, Auntie Betsy. Love you guys.
Y'all know it.
You crazy mofos.
But it did raise me to be very just like aware of my surroundings, which I do appreciate about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Also taught me how to grind real hard. And yeah, I mean, it was cool in school because I would be involved in clubs when people weren't even involved. Everyone talks about junior college. They hate junior college. They're like, I just want in and out. I just want to get there, get out, move on, whatever. I made the most of it, you know.
That's good. Yeah.
I was doing the newspaper thing. I was close with the athletes. I was going to parties here and there, but I guess I was like decently a party animal at one point because I didn't party in high school. But nothing crazy. It was like I was always responsible. And I would be inviting my cousins out to Temecula to my parties too.
Yeah. I remember during that time we went to one. I think during I think it was at your house.
Yeah.
It was for something like maybe New Year's. I don't know.
Something
it was
like
fun
that.
though. It was fun for sure. That was tight.
I was so stoked that you guys came out. Oh my gosh, I loved that.
That was so like adventurous for us because we're kids. You feel me?
That was far for you to drive. Yeah.
We're like 18.
You're like, yeah, I'll be there.
I was down, but my parents were tripping. You feel me?
Makes sense. You drove at night too. That is not safe for a child.
Once I turned 18, I was like, I'm going to shows. I'm going out. Like,
get me out of here. You can't tell me nothing.
I think it's because you know how it is. We grew up with YouTube, so like we were outside, but then like we did have YouTube like in high school time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like middle school it was starting to develop like YouTube for me at least. Like YouTube was starting to. Like I was probably watching skateboard videos in middle school on YouTube, but I started watching like DJ mixes and stuff on YouTube as like in high school and everything. So I really got into like
I get that.
Like loving DJs, loving music and all that. That's why I went to a few shows.
I completely get that. I think that stuff like really developed us into who we are now.
It is.
And we didn't realize it as much. Like for me, I remember I started my own YouTube channel like 5 times and I just kept deleting it. Delete it until you finally like grow into yourself and grow into your confidence and you get that side of yourself figured out a little more. But I was over here watching like makeup videos. I mean, I know how to do makeup now, but I was just like, I love them. I love their YouTube channel, you know, just random vlogs, whatever. I don't know. We just have always liked videos and putting it together, not just watching like the analysis of the videos. I love it. Yeah,
it's tight. It's tight because it really stems from like what we're just liking as freaking kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now we're just doing the stuff that we liked as a kid. That as like kids, like that to me is super tight. Mm-hmm. But freaking, so you went from out in Oceanside to Fullerton.
Yeah.
What was that transition like?
That one was different because I moved out of my parents' house at that point. So I was living at Grandma Marley's.
Oh, shout out Grandma. Everyone in the family has lived at Grandma's house.
Yep,
Come
period.
on. I lived at Grandma's house my whole high school career. You feel me? Shout out to Grandma Marley. What's up?
She's the backbone of our family. Love you, Grandma.
For sure.
But I remember there'd be nights where I was like trying to sneak out. I'll be like, Grandma, I'll be back in a little bit.
She's like, Mija, where you going, Mija?
Yeah, she hears the door creak. She said, where you been? I'm like, Grandma, I'm so sorry. I lost track of time.
That's tight. She was like playing the dad role too. Grandma is everything.
So sick, bro.
That's hilarious.
It was fun though, you know, because then Grandma's the best. I wake up.
Food cooked
I was
for
just about
you?
to say, every night she'd have food. What do you want, Mija? Or breakfast. She knew what I wanted for breakfast. She'd already have it made. I'm like, oh, my oatmeal with the little blueberries. And she's like, I found your agave.
That's so Grandma.
She's so cute.
Mija, I have your breakfast ready in the kitchen. Come before it gets too cold.
Yes. And then she sits there while you eat and just like watches, makes conversation. Oh, I love that woman so much.
She's like the only, or I mean, most women do this, but like they'll get all the food ready and then they'll eat last.
I know. she always does it. I get so mad at her. I'm like, Grandma, have you even eaten yet? You've been up for 6 hours.
I think what it also is like she lets the guys just be like, yeah, go eat.
Yeah.
Go eat. You feel me? Because, like, I feel like, because I cook. You feel me? I'm the cook of the house. Mm-hmm. So, like, when the food's ready, Cody waits for me to sit down. You know what I'm saying? To eat together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't tell her, like, sometimes I tell her, like, yo, just eat or whatever. But other times I don't tell her nothing. You feel me? And she just waits for me. I never tell her, yo, wait for me. You feel me? But, like, she just does it on her own. So, that's probably what it is.
Sweet.
I feel like the guys are just like, nah, fuck this, I'm eating.
Yes. Oh, I see what you're saying for sure.
Guys are just so, like, inconsiderate.
Yeah. Well, I
do it myself too. You feel me? So, like, I'm part of this. I can. This is why I can call this out. Cause
I have my moments, but I also notice when I go to people's houses, like a family event, I will notice who they tell to eat first. There's certain families, certain ethnicities that will want the guys to eat first.
That's true.
And then there's certain ethnicities where it's like women first.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's like it's very, I don't even know if it's 50-50, but it depends on the culture for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of fascinating for me to watch, you know, like, what are they going to say today?
yeah. The difference. Each culture and even family is different. You know? So in college, what did you at Fullerton? What did you major in? Like, what like gigs were you working at that time? Because I knew you were doing a bunch of stuff during college too.
So I was a business major, and at MiraCosta, I wanted to major in communications, but my dad was like, "That's an athlete's major. You can't do that. You don't have an athletic background to rely on."
Oh, hey, shout out Uncle. That fool is too real.
Right?
Like, too real sometimes. Like, chill out, bro. Like, I'm just
seriously.
kidding.
Okay, here's the thing. I majored in business, and I was so pissed at my dad. Did not even want to look at that fool because I was like, bro, you know how hard an accounting class is?
Bro, I know.
You know how hard economics is?
That shit is so hard, for sure.
I still don't know what I learned in those classes. But if it weren't for him forcing me to major in that, I wouldn't have needed help and had Carson tutor me.
Oh shit!
In
That's
accounting,
crazy.
Ended up passing with an A, and I was about to fail. So
damn, he really was your your mentor for the accounting class.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
He dead ass tutored me before our final, and I.
That's hilarious.
Passed with the best grade, yeah.
That's hilarious.
It was crazy, bro. Yeah. But then that was like, I think that was like the last class I took before I transferred or something.
Wait, is that how you met him?
So we went to the same high school, but then that's when we started dating, yeah.
At Fullerton?
MiraCosta.
Oh, that was
right before I transferred.
Oh, damn.
It was like he helped me to transfer.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, though.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cute. Everyone's like, oh, he helped you with accounting. I'm like, no, he really did. I passed with an A.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And I remember texting him a picture afterwards when I passed. And I was like, from him. It was a cute moment. But when I was at Fullerton, I majored in business marketing, minored in broadcast journalism. Because at that point, I had been knowing that that's what I wanted to do. And that's when I decided, like, it doesn't matter. Your major doesn't matter as much as your experience does. So I just started grinding, bro. I made my resume look like I did way more than I did because I would be like, oh, assistant athletic director. No, she wasn't. She was like an intern. But you juice it up. And so one of my first internships was with Fox Sports in their marketing department, and I from there just knew I was going to maneuver into production. Made connections, they helped me out. I was able to get in the highlights department in production, and then Spectrum Sports, I was an intern, got promoted to a PA, production assistant, and just like during all that time I kept getting my reps in. On camera reps, because I figured the thing with me is like I wasn't cute growing up, so I had to work on my personality, and I wanted to have a job where I could showcase that personality. You know, I want to be able to chat with people and learn more about them. It's weird to be on this side of the mic, I will say.
Yeah. Getting interviewed, yeah.
Clearly, I got a lot to say. I don't shut up.
That's why it's perfect that you're doing what you're doing. Like that's like you knew already in college, you're just like, yeah, this is the path. You feel me? So that's That's great to see. And so you went from, like, you said Fox?
Fox was the first one, yeah.
And then you went to...
Fox to other Fox. So Fox Marketing, then Fox Sport. Well, let me clarify.
They have like
Fox
a bunch of
Sports
departments.
Marketing. And then Fox Sports Highlights Department. So I put highlights together.
Oh, okay.
And then I think after that was Spectrum Sportsnet. So I'd be doing Lakers and Dodgers stuff.
That's when you got the Dodger gigs?
That's how I got. From there, I made a connection where he introduced me to my former boss at the Dodgers. And he got me the audition.
Who's he?
His name is Armin Kulian. I'm like, Armin Kulian.
So he's like one of the people that was at the
Spectrum.
Spectrum.
Yeah, and he was like the first guy I spoke to. He was so sweet, man. He's just a homie. And what's crazy is I had no connections in this industry in any way, shape, or form. I was connected to him from a sorority sister. I saw his last name when he emailed me about like coming in for an interview to get the intern position. And I saw his name on there. A sorority sister had the exact same last name, and it was like kind of an interesting one. So she's like, "Oh my God, that's my uncle. Let me put in a good word." And she put in a good word, but we also just like hit it off. He was great, like a fatherly figure, you know.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So yeah, you gotta make those connections. That's so tight.
And he's the one that got you in with the Dodgers. Tight. That's so sick. And so when you got in with the Dodgers, you were still in college, right?
I had just graduated.
Oh, okay. That's tight. So when you're doing all these like gigs and everything, was there a point where it was like, all right, this is like stable enough, I'm only doing this right now? Or did you always have to have other, were you already like working with other like companies and stuff too?
I think I've always had multiple jobs.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, and I don't love that part of myself because at some point I need to chill. But I think it's just like the time period that we grew up. We went through a recession during very formative years. So you just like want to have something to rely on. And even right now, I was laid off. Well, the show that I was hosting for was put on pause. Let's say maybe a couple weeks ago. And the whole entertainment, sports, every industry right now is being hit by that WGA strike.
Yeah, the writer's strike, right?
Yeah, it goes way beyond just like movies.
So it hit you.
So here's the thing, we're not involved in the strike, but the fact that all these networks are like slowing down production, laying people off, in that aspect, I think it directly affected us. Yeah. Sponsors are pulling out of things. They don't want to spend their money because they don't know when we're going to pick back up. So they're being very conscious of what they're putting their money into right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's all around. Like, it's just slowing down. But this is probably the first time where I only technically have one job with Sirius. And then I'm doing content creration. Yeah.
I noticed the serious stuff, like the interviews and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's tight as hell. How did you get that? Like, what was up with that? How'd you get that gig? I know it's like a maze.
No, it really is. It's so true.
Maze. Yeah.
Because
getting to all these gigs and shit.
Yeah, because my first real stable job was with Overtime Sports, I will say. Before that, I was doing like multimedia journalist work on Fox Sports West, so it's like everything kind of connects. So Fox Sports West went to Overtime, and I was doing like...
You were killing it on Overtime. Killing it, right?
I mean, for me, it didn't feel like that. It's like yes and no. I think I learned a lot while I was there. It was a lot of behind the scenes, and I always wanted to be a host, and I knew that that's what I meant to do. I know I am good at doing my research. I can hold a conversation with anyone.
That's tight.
Like, just put me in that seat. Yeah. The thing with the industry and where it's moving is, like, your numbers really matter. And I reached a point where once I started my own TikTok page where I was covering entertainment news, then they were like, all right, let's do this. You want to do this for us? Like, we'll pay you. And so that's when it started picking up, and I felt really confident and comfortable working for them once I started hosting entertainment news. Okay. But I took a chance and went to the Women's Sports Network, started hosting there and producing, and it was really fun to be a part of a network and start from the ground level, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that was after overtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We were all over the place. We have like 18 jobs at this point by the age of 26, I think is when I started. But yeah, so Sirius came up. I honestly think a lot of it had to do with the Women's Sports Network job. I think they saw my reel and saw that I could interview people, whatever. My manager is the one who connected me with them, spoke with them for like 30 minutes, and I think we really hit it off. And it sounds like they immediately knew, and they were trying to push for me to come join them. So yeah, I had my first interview with Jax, who's like she was on American Idol, and she blew up on TikTok for these like from the kid I babysit's perspective videos. Her voice is insane, bro.
Oh, okay. So and that's the girl that's with the women's.
Sorry, this is probably so confusing. No,
that's with the Sirius now.
That's with Sirius.
Okay,
she was my first interview there, yes.
No, it made sense. I was tracking because I know it goes, you know what I'm saying, from company to company. And that to me is like, that seems like that's the path. Like that's how you really make it in the entertainment industry, because like it's not cookie cutter. Like, oh yeah, I got here and I stayed here and that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're a nipple baby, then it might work like that. But
when you sucking ass, you like unless you're just kissing ass, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sucking ass.
Yeah. I said that wrong. Boss. That's nasty.
Woo! Damn, J-Bone.
Oh, that's nasty.
Nah, if you're doing it right, it's most likely gonna go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, because you're working with so many different people. That's so tight, though. Like, I bet your parents are so proud of you, dude.
Oh, that's cute.
You've done so much, like, already, and you're, like, just getting started. Like, that's so exciting.
It's super cute. There's times where I feel like I am very behind, and you have, like, the comparison game going on.
That happens.
I always have to keep in mind, like, there's people who, maybe they did a great job and they got to their dream job, and then they end up getting laid off too because of the industry. So it's just like we're all over the place. We're all figuring it out. We all feel threatened to a certain aspect, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I do think that there's space for all of us, but you'd be lying if you said you weren't threatened that another host who looks, is she brunette? Is she light-skinned? Does she talk pop culture? We're going at it for the same job, you know? It is what it is. That's how this industry works. But you just have to, like, trust in yourself that the right job is going to come your way and you're going to be ready when it does come.
There ain't no do-overs.
Exactly.
There ain't no do-overs. Shout out to G Perico. There's a song called No Do-Overs. And it's like, yeah, like if you're not ready, move over, because there's someone that is. You know what I'm saying? So Period. It's like, get your ass ready for whatever you're trying to get into. You know what I'm saying?
What is that saying where it's like, oh, stay ready so you don't have to get ready? Yep. Something like that?
Yep.
Cute. 1,000%. Like that one?
I love those. Like, for example, like leading up to like my podcast and everything, like I have to get my questions ready. Mm-hmm. I have to, you know, do my digging. I have to set everything up, get all the lights ready, get all the angles ready, the chairs ready, the room, like all that. Like you have to get ready for what you want to, like, you know, develop, and you have to plan things, or else it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's cool is seeing you start this podcast, because everything just starts as an idea, you know, and the fact that you're like able to actually make it happen and hold these interviews every week, day in, day out.
Thank you.
Put the edit together, put those little snapshots out on on Instagram and all that. Like, that's sick. That's a lot of work, dude.
It is. It's a lot of work for sure. Yeah. That's why, like, I try to make sure when I'm doing it, I'm having fun and, like, I'm enjoying it. Because then there's no point. If I'm not enjoying this and I'm doing all this work, no.
You're going to fizzle out.
Yeah. So, like, I have to be enjoying it. So far I've been enjoying it. You feel me? It's not easy. There's times where I'm like, God damn, I'm editing 1 in the morning trying to get the edit out. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, like, it's like anything else. When you put in the work for something, great things are going to come from it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so talk to me about talking to me about the Sirius, the gig. So you're working with Sirius now?
So I ain't officially signed that contract yet, but yes.
Here and there.
Yeah, so it's going to be, I'm going to be the person who's like, oh, have you heard about this trend? So, okay, let me start here. I am with Sirius XM, and it's TikTok Radio IRL. So it's Channel 4, which is like kind of prime spot. Okay, Channel 4. And so I'll be the one who's like, oh, have you heard about this new TikTok trend? Explain the TikTok trend, and like, this is TikTok Radio IRL. This is Jess Lucero, Jess the Reporter, whatever. And then occasionally I'll get interviews. Occasionally I'll get to work carpets. And that was the thing that I explained, myself and my manager explained to them before I started. I was like, my next job, I anticipate being one where I can cover carpets for you. I can cover events for you. Like, I love interviewing the most when it comes to my job. We can host. We could talk to the camera. We can do a teleprompter. We can actually do research and interview people and get exclusives and get snippets out of them that other people aren't able to get. And that's where I feel the most alive.
Yeah.
And so I like...
At the red carpets, huh? You like them, huh?
For sure. They're stressful as heck.
Talk about it. Oh,
my God. Yeah, because I started working a couple over this past year. And my first red carpet, I think, was it my first one? Oh, my God. First red carpet, I interviewed Joe Jonas. I was like, girl, what? It's kind of sick because I was such a Jonas Brothers girly growing up. But
that's so tight. That's so tight, bro. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's so tight.
That was the thing I noticed in myself is when I would leave, let's say, a Dodgers game after I had been working there, I would call my mom after and be like, today didn't feel good. Like, something wasn't right.
Working there, yeah.
But when I worked the red carpets, I would call my mom and like be on the verge of tears because I was like, dude.
You're like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Like, I am meant to be here is the way I felt.
Yeah.
And I never felt that way in this industry. Not to that extent, you know.
Yeah.
It was just different, man.
That's tight. I love that.
Yeah.
So you've been to a few. What other red carpets you been to?
So I worked the Devotion carpet. That's the one with Joe Jonas. I worked Megan, which is like a scary movie that's also cheesy. That one I had a lesson that I learned where my mic wasn't working. Shoot. That was unfortunate, but we learned, we corrected. We haven't had that happen again.
You have to. Yeah. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. It's part of the game.
I worked 80 for Brady with, oh my gosh, I wish I could have interviewed Jane Fonda, but she got overwhelmed. But there were...
Oh, she was there, huh?
Yeah, she was in the movie. Tom Brady was in the movie, but it was tough to get him. It's fine. There was definitely some major names at that carpet. So it was like every outlet was there and pushing and shoving each other for the interviews. It was another one where you had to be ready.
Damn, that's a grind. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then at the beginning of this year, so I have a couple of things on my list that I'm like wanting to make sure I accomplish. One was to work my first award show, and I worked the Indie Spirit Awards in like January, February, whenever, earlier this year.
Damn, you hit that. You got that done quick.
Yes,
that's right.
Thank goodness I could check one off.
That's tight.
But that one was tough because there's so many people that are nominated, not to mention the producers, the execs, everyone behind the scenes.
So it's like you don't know who these people are.
You have to try to memorize as many faces as you can. But there's times where someone's walking down the aisle. And
the red carpet. The red carpet.
Thank you. The red carpet. Same thing. It's an aisle. Same, but different. But they'll be walking down. I had this woman come up to the person next to me. I'm listening. What's her name? I get her name. I look her up real quick, see what movie she's been in, have a 10-minute conversation with her. You just you have to trust in your ability to talk with people.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Them. Yeah, that's that journalistic, all that work that you've been putting in with all these companies and everything. It's just, it comes in those moments. It's like riding a bike, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how to do it, and it's just like once you get those opportunities, it's like, oh, I got this. Like, come here, you feel me? Like, I'm gonna put you in a chokehold like Jeffrey. You feel me? God damn it, fucking Jeffrey. Love you, fool, but you messed my back up the other day.
Oh my God, what'd he do?
He messed my neck up. We're just chilling, and he just hit one of my pressure points, and this fool acted like he didn't know what he was doing. I was like, this fool.
He enjoys it. That's the bad thing.
That fool acts like he doesn't know what he's doing, and he hurt the shit out of me. But it's all good. I told him. He apologized. It's okay. I still love him.
He paid for my
I had to tell him.
PT.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big side note. I just went on a tangent with that. But nah, that's so tight. Like, cause when I was noticing you popping up at the red carpets, I was like, that's so tight. Like, how were you getting like those gigs?
Girl.
You were pretty much going after yourself, right? Like you have to get in, and these are not paid, right?
Unpaid.
Like it's a grind. Like that's just like how we are with photographers. Like getting into these shows, sometimes these big name shows, you see me rocking. These motherfuckers ain't paying me because they don't know who I am, so I have to put in my resume.
You have to prove yourself first, which is like,
it's kind of insane.
I get it. Insane, yeah, but it sucks at the same time. And it's like, oh, do you want it enough? Yeah, I want it, but I also like gotta make ends meet, bro. You know how expensive it is to live out in LA.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was working for free most of those all of those carpets. The thing is, I'd be paying to work those carpets. You know, like if it comes down to it last minute and I don't have anyone else to film the carpet for me, I'm like, all right, I'll pay you. Like, what do you need? You know, you got to do what you got to do. But man, it's tough out there. And then I have to go home and edit the video. And I still have to work my other job. So I'd be out until 10 at night and then getting up 6 o'clock the next morning to go host a different show. It's like, dude, that's a lot. But wouldn't trade any of that. Oh my God, I loved it so much.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they get.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly.
Let's go on strike,
bro. Pay us $50 at least. Like, pay me in gas.
Yeah,
something.
It needs to change because it's not right. Like,
it's not
people
right.
Obviously, like, especially if someone has a resume already and you know what I'm saying, and that person reaches out to you, respect the resume. You feel me? Respect what these people have put in the work in already. You feel me? Like,
I agree. Or even like, I get a trial run. You could do it for one day, but to keep juicing that out of them is tough.
No, you can't do that. My thing is like, give someone one thing free, especially if they don't know you. Give one person free, but then other than that, no.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's money that we live off of to eat and everything, and it's end of period right there. You feel me? We're gonna go to a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Hawmie podcast. We're back. I wanted to ask, how was that acting gig that you had recently?
Oh my gosh, my improv class?
No, okay, so yeah, you can talk about your improv class. Yeah, but then you're also your Amazon gig that you got.
Yes, that was kind of crazy. Like I said, I manifest every year. Like I do a vision board. I manifest in general, but I do a vision board at the top of the year. That was how I got my Dodgers gig, actually, I should say.
That's so tight.
In the process of putting the Dodgers picture on my vision board when I got the email saying I got the job.
Damn.
So I stuck with that. Like, I continue to do vision boards every year.
Here's the thing, though. Like, look, because you're talking about using the vision board, but you're all action, though. You feel me? So, like, that's why that shit is happening. Because, like, ain't no way Dodgers are hitting you up unless you're hitting them up. You feel me? So, like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, that's how it really works. You put that work in, and then you say it like, this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
And then boom.
And you have to remind yourself, you have to look at that photo every day and be like, this is what I'm working for. This is why I'm doing it. So with the acting thing at the start of the year, I was saying, take my first acting class, take my first improv class, be in my first commercial.
No way,
get my first extra role. Like little things, but they're gonna turn to bigger things, you know? So at this point I've done an improv class and I got my first commercial. Damn,
bro, congrats, bro. Like, honestly, that's so tight. Like, think about that. You're really bringing things to life. You're bringing things to life out of your brain. You feel me? Like, that is beautiful. You know, like, congrats.
It's like the podcast, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like,
hell yeah.
When you want something to happen, you just gotta make it happen. Like, no one else is going to make it but you. And you're right. If you just write it down but do nothing towards it, like, okay, it's going to sit there. You have to care about
it. You have to care about it. Like, like as if you want it to really grow into something, for sure. Because, like, and ain't nobody going to care about it until you do.
Exactly.
You have to care. Like, you have to be online posting about what you're doing and everything and showing who you are and, like, why you care about what you do. And people gonna mess with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So how did the Amazon one come?
So the company that I worked for, the Women's Sports Network, the same company that puts that on, they occasionally work with Amazon, occasionally shoot commercials. And I had already done my improv class at this point and knew what I wanted to do. I was like, guys, if you ever need an extra for anything, they ended up saying, oh, we have a shoot coming up really soon, I think. Let me get back to you. They texted me about it the day before, and they were like, hey, we're trying to get you a speaking role on this Amazon gig.
Oh, my God. That's so classic.
I know. That's just how this industry works, man. Everything. But they were like, yeah, it's going to be with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Pay's not going to be great, but it's just, I wanted my first gig. I was, of course, that's how they get you, but willing to do anything. And
yeah, for sure.
So I ended up having a couple of lines in that. And just learned so much because I had never done any sort of commercial, been on a TV show, none of that. So I had no clue that you run through your lines like 18 times to where I started forgetting my lines because I said it so many times. I was like, girl, I got like 2 lines and I'm over here like, oh, we're starting from the top again? Okay, I need a second. Like, whoa. I forgot.
Damn.
But it was just a really good learning process or a learning experience. Thank you. A good experience overall. And I wouldn't say it gave me the bug. I've always felt like I've wanted to act. And my parents always thought it was like a phase. A
phase.
Yeah, a phase.
You're like, no, I'm coming in.
I'm like, girl, I've always wanted to do this. I put myself, when I was like 17, I put myself in a play because I was finally able to drive, you know.
Oh, like, yeah, I remember that.
I was like in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we went to see you.
Yeah.
I totally remember that. Drove down to Temecula with the family, with grandma and grandpa in the Honda, you know what I'm saying?
It was so cute. Because I feel like I was always a part of the audience, you know, like for Jazz, we would always go out and watch her dance and stuff. And so
yeah, for sure.
It's really cool to have my family there for me for that, even if it was something small.
That's tight. That was like out of high school, huh? Going into college?
I think I was, right, just graduated.
That's so tight.
So funny, man. But
that's so tight. Time flies though, too. Fuck.
So weird. I didn't have braces yet at that point.
Huh.
But yeah, now I had my first commercial. I want to take an acting class before I start trying for any other roles. I want to get like the fundamentals down.
Yeah. You would probably just need one, dude. Just one and you'd be fine.
I'm not going to lie. I was told that I did a really good job with my facial reactions, and they did use a lot of my reactions
in the commercial, for sure.
And the guys that were in the commercial with me were like, you said this was your first one?
Nice.
And that was like...
You're like, yes! I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, it was very cool.
That's so tight. I'm excited for you, like, to see where you go with that. Because you're going to... I know you, like, you're not going to stop, you feel me?
Until I get there, for sure. It's a lot to think about now that I'm meeting friends who are in the industry and hearing how much they get paid. SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, hardly pays. So it's definitely something where, again, you would need to have multiple jobs. You know, you can't just act. So that in and of itself is a lot to take in.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I start to do it and feel the way I think I may feel, then knowing me, I'll probably push through and find a way to get that leading role.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I love that about you because you're just so persistent, you know what I'm saying? And like,
thank you.
Like, yeah, like not many people have that power, you feel me? Because a lot of us sleep on our talents.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not because it's an intentional thing or not. I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just because people are surviving, working their jobs, paying rent, paying bills. You feel me? Like it's a real blessing to like make a living off of your talents. So like it's so freaking tight. But at the same time, we take so much shit because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're paving our own route and everything. But what I was gonna say is like with you doing your thing with like the acting and everything and how much they pay. It's like if you want to do it though, you should just do it because you know it's something that you're passionate about, and at the end of the day, you can build something on your own later. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put in the work now, and eventually open up your own production company or do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And really do this entertainment thing like for a living where it's like we're not struggling like every month or whatever, you know what I'm saying, every other month or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. So as long as you keep going and you don't stop, ain't nothing gonna stop you. You feel me? We're our own, like, you know what I'm saying, stop signs. Like we get in our own way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the day I found out our show was put on pause, I gave myself a day, you know, like give yourself some time to comprehend what's going on, because it's not just the job that you don't have, the income that you don't have, but it's also you don't know how long this is going to last. So there's a lot to take in there. Yeah. But then I immediately started started emailing companies being like, I want to get to a point where I can work carpets as my own brand.
That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah. With your own company and doing it on your own. Yeah.
And that's the exact thought that I've had as well, where I'm like, I know every aspect of production. I could start my own production company. Yeah. Maybe not.
Or like blog or like news blog. Because like with those red carpets, they go through like, oh, you have to have a blog to get in. And it's the same shit with like hip hop shows and stuff too. So you'd be able to get into hip hop shows and then boom, you got me as your shooter. What's that? We're good. No, but I've dealt with the same thing when trying to get into these shows. They're like, all right, what newspaper are you with? Who are you associated with? It's like, damn, bro, I can't just pull up and take my own pictures. But it's sophisticated.
Like, girl, myself will go more viral than this company just because they have a blog for the past 15 years. But I'm like, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been doing this for however long. It's like, I've worked for companies freelancing here and there. You know, you could trust me. Like, I sent you my reel. Take a look at my TikTok, look at whatever. I have the background. At one point they just got to trust in your resume. It's like we were saying earlier, you know, that's the most frustrating point. You just need one yes, and then from there you could keep it going. Yeah,
because you just got to go through a bunch of no's and keep going, and that is probably the hardest part, but it is the most important part. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone gets no's. Everyone gets no's, and it's just about not stopping, not like quitting.
Don't take that no.
Yeah.
You know? You know?
Yeah, for sure. Keep it going. Keep it flowing and don't stop. Talk to me about therapy. How is that for you? How is that for you? What's that like? Because I don't go to therapy, so I'm like,
oh, you should. We all should. I'm not saying like you.
Yeah. Not wild. I'm
like, girl, you need therapy. No, but genuinely, I think everyone needs to go to therapy. I started because of a traumatic experience that I went through, but I knew that I wanted to go for a really long time, just for life. But then I went on a plane ride back in July of last year, so almost a year now. And it was an emergency landing, so it was just traumatic overall. Like the once we took off, we could hear the wings constantly moving and it wouldn't stop. And so I was like, what is that? But also we wouldn't be flying if we couldn't. So we must be fine. Then the pilot does say something saying like, we have to make an emergency landing. There's something wrong with the plane. And no one can hear the pilot. You just hear someone talking. But I don't know. I'm like, girl, put that volume up. Hello. Because we were just guessing. And right after he told us we had to make an emergency landing, the plane drops. I don't know how far, but it felt like a lot, you know, at the time. And I have girls in front of me screaming, I can't die today. I have a little girl to my left crying to her dad. It was just like, it was terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
Bought Wi-Fi immediately and started texting my family that I loved them. Texted Carson, I loved him. I thought that was it. Just something to keep in mind if you're ever going through the same experience is that planes have to circle for a while to make sure that they lose the weight of the fuel.
They can't land again with the fuel?
They can, but it's safer to drop fuel to fly more, and get rid of that fuel so that when you do land, you're not too heavy and then fires can happen and stuff like that. So I didn't understand why he kept circling.
And they were circling.
It was like 45 minutes.
Oy.
Felt like forever,
Yeah. Damn.
But I've been going to therapy. It's called EMDR therapy specifically, which is eye movement, desensitization reprocessing, I think is what it's called.
Damn, that's a complex word.
Yeah, that's a lot. Mouthful right there.
I didn't even understand that.
Basically, they have you think of the traumatic experience that you're trying to overcome and replace it with a happier mindset is all it is. So it's like there's finger movement involved, which eye movement. You follow the fingers. So it's kind of, it looks similar to hypnosis, but it's not.
Oh, wow.
Or there can be tapping, I guess. I've never done that version, but I've heard of people doing that. I will say I have felt the biggest weight lifted off my chest since going. I had I had a decent amount of like panic attacks or moments where I would just stay in bed or I would get emotional. I would think about my flight and I would just start crying.
No, for sure. That should just reignited it for sure whenever you think about it.
So I went to my last session before leaving for Spain today. And I definitely have to take a deep breath when I think about it, but I feel way better than I felt
That's so
2
good.
months ago,
That's good that you started going, because it's like important when you go through something traumatic to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets wound up in your mind and then it ain't going to escape unless you express it. You know what I'm saying? Speak about it.
And that's the thing is people think, this was my mindset before, I was like, I don't think I've gone through enough bad shit in order to
need it. Yeah.
But if you find the right therapist, she finds a way to bring it out of you. My girl's a she. But yeah, she finds a way to just get me to talk about stuff. It's like a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it right, they help you out in so many ways. It could be in your relationship or in being a father or your childhood or football or your business. Like there's so many things that you should talk about with a professional, not just like your family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
I
feel that. We'll see if I ever go to therapy.
I mean, it is expensive, so I understand. Let me be real.
Yeah. I mean, financially right now? No.
Girl, no. Yeah, that's the thing.
But, I mean, like, it makes sense, though, because your psyche and your mind and everything is just as important as, like, your body, and, like, what you're putting into your body, and it's, like, what you're putting into your mind and what you're, telling yourself, and the conversations that you're having within, if they're not able to be expressed outward, it feels so freaking heavy, you know what I'm saying, on your body.
It starts to affect your body. Like, the panic attack that I had on the flight was insane. My body went numb, uncontrollable tears, like, and with this
for sure.
EMDR, when I first went through reliving the flight, I felt my fingers trembling, again? Going numb. I started getting a headache. I got really tired. My chest was tight. I was sweating. Like
it was like coming. It was like coming out of you almost. Like literally, like all the trauma, like releasing from your body.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Your brain is just wild, dude. Like it does so much.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah. No, for sure. Shit. To switch it up a little bit, what's one of your favorite parts of being like doing the entertainment industry and being a reporter, and then what's one of your not so favorite parts?
Oof, I like that. One of my favorite parts about being a reporter in general, and I will say an entertainment reporter, is having the opportunity to speak with these people that I look up to and getting stuff out of them that I feel like the average person wouldn't be able to get, you know, like just getting them to have a conversation with a normal human being. I think I will notice a shift in a lot of them where they can tell that I'm looking at them and not just like, can I get a selfie with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going at it for that aspect. I'm trying to get them to release something. And not for the clicks, but just because I want to talk to you. Like, how are you doing? Really, you know?
Yeah. Let's cut through the bullshit. Like, what's up? Yeah.
Sure, tell me about your role, but I don't really care. Like, what? Tell me about you, you know?
Uh-huh.
There's so much more to it. I would say least favorite. There's like a few things because it is just like a really tough industry overall. And I don't love how hard they make it for you to succeed. It's also the competitiveness that I don't love. I like being competitive, but I don't like meeting people that like elbow me to get to the interviews. And the thing is, I'll bite my tongue to a certain level. At one point, I saw this older woman who's like, old Hollywood, the way you do it is you elbow people, you scream stuff at these celebrities, and that's their approach. And that's not the right approach anymore. Like, these people want to be spoken to, with. Like, they want to have a conversation. They don't want to be yelled at. And I had this woman elbowing me at an event I was working. And at one point, and I had to tell her to chill. Yeah. And she was like, she didn't expect it. Yeah. I was like, listen, I understand you want to get this interview, but do not push me. I have to get my own interviews. We can have a conversation, but you have your space and I have mine, you know? Called take a step back. Yeah. I just don't think it needs to be like that. You don't need to hurt people in order to get your clicks.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's wild. That's wild that they did that shit back in the day. And people are still doing it.
Still doing it, yeah.
You know, like, it's not all the way over yet. People still make...
Or you think about the Kobe and Gigi, not to go super dark, but like the Kobe and Gigi crash.
Yeah.
I think it was the police. Someone sold pictures of that incident, and it's like all of those aspects. It's in the very literal sense. You do not have to hurt people in order to succeed in this industry. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my least favorite part of it.
That goes directly with what I'm like talking about next with your, because I was looking at your profile, your Instagram, and you have humans over headlines.
Yeah.
And like. That's literally like everything that you were just saying right now reflects that. You know what I'm saying? But what does that mean to you?
That's the thing I try to keep in mind. That the reason I love what I do is because I'm able to chat with humans like at the end of the day, and we both have this passion for the entertainment industry. Like, you may think it's dumb. That's fine. You can think that. We enjoy it and we like talking about it. But for me, I've had moments where I could out people about someone that they hooked up with. I've gotten DMs about parents of celebrities, and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this.
Talk about this.
Yeah. And I know so many people in my industry who do talk about it. And I'm not going to name them because humans over headlines, but I don't think it's right. You know, I think there's a lot of companies who think they can go about things in ways that they shouldn't. At the end of the day, the people you are talking about are people more so than the role that they play or the music that they make. Like, they're a human.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think about myself. If I were to be an actress and I were to have someone come up to me and just take a photo, I catch myself now giving people dirty looks when they're staring at me in the car next to me and they don't know who I am, you know? Like, I just have to keep that in mind. And so that's why I put it in my bio to remind others and to remind myself, like, really, the people you were talking about are humans. So let's not, if you're going to make a few jokes, that's fine. But let's just not out them or, you know, go too hard.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because, like, people will do anything for the clicks. You know what I'm saying? They'll misconstrued statements with people, you know, and it can get nasty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like with allegations and everything, like, there'll be companies that'll back out of a partnership in a second based off of any type of allegation that's, like, you know, not deemed okay. So it's definitely
It's not
like,
worth it.
Problematic. You know what I'm saying? So I love that perspective because it brings like like a fresh, you know what I'm saying, idea to these entertainment outlets because, you know, at the end of the day, these outlets, they're nothing without you guys. They're nothing without reporters that put in the work on the daily basis on these big name whatever blogs, you know what I'm saying? So you guys have the power, you know what I'm saying? Really, I mean, it's great to work with these big corporations and everything, but you have the sauce. You feel me? Like, it's all within you, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, make your own shit too, because I know damn well people would love to support it, you know what I mean? Like, whether it's a little clothing brand or it's a production company, I know damn well anyone that knows you would like support you behind it. Cute, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you forget that, and I definitely like don't think that they would. Not in a. I know my family would. I know what my family's like, but there's times where you're like, no one would care, you know, and you have to remember people relate to you, they follow you for a reason, and you have to just make sure that you're able to relay that message of what you stand for, you know? Yeah,
as long as you care for it, other people are going to care for it too.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? All right, let's go into some quick would you rathers, all right?
Okay.
So we're keeping it Latino themed. What's up?
Okay.
Corn or flour tortillas?
Flour.
Why?
I only like corn tortillas if it's with tacos.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really love that flavor.
Hey, I love both. You feel me? But definitely.
You corn. Have to do corn now.
I have to do corn. You know the vibe. Pozole or menudo?
Pozole. I hate menudo. I cannot. If you like that tribe, you go ahead.
Shout out to my mom. What's up? She loves menudo.
Lo siento.
Oh man. All right. Elote or raspado?
Elote for sure. Oh, I love.
So elote with like everything on it, or just like
loaded up? Yes.
With the spice?
Yes.
You like being
I
sweaty?
love spice.
Okay. I like the spice, but sometimes when it's too much, I'm like,
no. I love that. I'm like, keep me choking.
Oh, well, that's like your dad. Your dad with the jalapenos.
He raised me right, yeah.
Crazy ass fool. All right, I got another one. Black or pinto beans?
This I go back and forth with every day, but Grandma makes Peruvian beans, and those are pretty fire, honestly.
So Peruvian, huh?
Probably Peruvian. Yeah. I literally, beans are beans. I love all beans, bro.
Yeah.
I don't discriminate against my beans.
I love beans too. Shit, we freaking bean and cheese burrito. Forget about it. I grew up off of that.
Yes.
Shit. Fuck off me, dog. Not just kidding. Lemons or limes?
Trying to think of the flavors. Okay, I'm gonna say, probably limes. But also, it kind of reminds me of tequila and kind of gives me like a moment. But I'm going to still say limes.
You've had a couple fun nights off that tequila and lime. Oh, I love
you got to take like a few days off after of the limes.
Oh, shit, that's funny. Spanish rice or white rice?
Oh, Spanish rice, period. Oh my God, I saw that guy who he said, which Spanish rice?
I was like, bruh, are you
bitch,
kidding me?
What? What kind of Spanish rice?
Shout out to Lenny, though. Shout out to the homie.
That made me laugh so hard.
Oh, shit. Red or green salsa?
Okay, with my tacos, when I have chicken tacos, I do red. When I have carne asada, I do green. I'm very 50-50 with a lot of my stuff, but I know what I like. Both, I just love salsa.
Yeah. You can hang. Hang.
For sure.
It's the family. Like my family, like my dad can have some spices, but my mom don't really. Actually, she makes salsa.
But she makes salsa and it's really good.
I don't know, like I just don't have a big like spice tolerance. Like I can't just eat a jalapeno like.
Oh, I do that. I did that yesterday.
You guys are crazy, bro. You guys are crazy.
My dad literally would, the way he forced me to major in business, he forced me to eat that jalapeno.
That's funny. He's like, mija, it tastes good. Eat it. All right, flan or arroz con leche?
Arroz con leche. I don't love flan.
I love
like
flan,
that.
bro.
Do you?
I'm all flan.
You know what it reminds me of?
Team flan, bro.
This sounds so white.
What does it remind you?
It's like, what is that stuff called where it's like, It looks like sour cream, but it's chunky.
Oh, cottage cheese?
It's like cottage cheese. Where every time I try to make myself like it, and I'm like,
Hopefully I forget that. I don't remember that when I'm eating flan. Fuck.
Ruined everything.
Nah, it's okay. Flan is amazing still. Oh my god. All right, we're going to go to a quick break and we're going to go to the outro. Do you have any shout-outs? Shout-outs for the...
I would like to give some shout-outs to my parents, because they raised me. My brother, because I was his best woman in his wedding.
Oh, shout-out Jeffrey and Jess. What's up?
Yes, both of them. My grandma, Lucero.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Grandma Greba. Shout out Grandma Greba and Grandma Lucero.
My Grandpa Denny. My Grandma Greba holding it down on eucalyptus. Oh, don't put that out. Not me out in her street. Gotta bleep that out.
People don't know the city. We good. We good.
And my Nino and Nina and other Nino.
Yeah, hell yeah. All them.
All the family, you know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What about you?
Shout-outs for me? Mm-hmm. Any shout-outs? Shout-out to you, dude. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you.
Me.
It's been a lot of fun, honestly. It's going to be, like, fun to edit and just, you know, share out to the world. Because people are going to, like, stumble upon you that don't know you. Because I have, like, a different background, so I have, like, different followers. So, you know, people are going to, like, be like, whoa, this is Jason's cousin? Like, oh, yeah, this is my cousin, if I didn't say that. But I don't even think I said that the whole episode.
I don't think so.
But yes, shout out to you. Thank you for coming. Shout out to you for watching as well.
For sure. Thanks for having me, man.
Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see you next week. Peace out, y'all.